All right, y'all. Today we're going to check out, see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for its local Google search, West Pasco, Washington, or see if it has it for its city search, Tri-Cities, Washington. So we're back in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, wherever. Now, this is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got full spectrum intent capture here in white, highest intent people up above on the, over here on the left. And this is for Google search, social search, social media search, people looking for boudoir photo shoots in our city. Right now, these are the highest peeps way over on the left. So we talk about here, BSS. And then over on the right, we got the lowest intent people. They are actually people that ain't searching for boudoir right now and actually may not even know what boudoir is. But there's the largest volume of people that will actually exist. So that's our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We're talking about BLCS over there. And that is currently we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So today we're, all these videos here talking about BSS. Now BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So at 0 slots, that's bad, no bueno. 0 slots on page 1 is terrible. In page 2 or deeper, because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're literally page 1 and done searches. So for approximately 80% of the market, we got to be, those are who we care about. We got to maximize getting in front of those people and because that's 80% of the market. That's the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 Google, also not enough because we're still invisible. We're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. And actually, when a buyer is going down search and basically clicking on everyone's link, we're being price shopped against, well, there's 10 slots. We got 1, a maximum 9 other boudoir photographers. So we're literally being price shopped against everyone else on the page, open up everyone's website, doing everyone's contact forms, and we're getting price shopped to death because we're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Common, not normal. Accepted and common, but no, not normal. And this is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, that's when it seems like every week when someone gets a new iPhone, they're also throwing up the Google My Business profile and a website saying they now shoot boudoir. Or someone gets a new camera, they're posting the mom groups, they now shoot boudoir. And that's market saturation. Again, mostly everyone knows that. And a big flood of market saturation occurred. And when COVID happened, people lost their jobs, they still needed money. Everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so kind of easy to throw up. They already got the gear. It's easy to throw up that we now offer boudoir photo shoots. And then we got the second thing, which is new, is very few people know about, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So false belief of page 1 equality is seems natural that boudoir photographers, everyone kind of assumes that every boudoir photographer is either 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google. And no, that is not correct. Incorrect. Google will actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to take. And I know that because I've gone from 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 in only 10 days utilizing this new solution we invented. And no ad spend. Google ads only literally gets you, PPC ads only like 1 slot extra on the page. We're looking to take as many as possible. So false belief page 1 equality, that's where we're like, all right, we got, we got our 1 website ranked page 1 on Google. We are, but market got saturated, pushed us off to page 2. Oh, that's simply what happens when market gets saturated. We lost our slot. Now we're invisible. Approximately 80% of searchers are no longer seeing us. So That's simply how it is. And not even knowing there that we can take as many slots on page one as we want. So we aren't even looking for solutions. It's kind of this false belief page one equality is kind of like a mental box or mental cage that people got to break through first to even see if there are solutions that can help, uh, solve or alleviate um, the biggest problem with getting clients. And next, we know that Boudoir photographer with BSS Boudoir search sameness is a disappearing Boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we're getting our micro universe set up here. DBP with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality. But thankfully, we now have a solution. BSS is true with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as the word says. We saturate social search with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. So we always show up there on social. And then when we, when we actually get a ton of saturation there, it's kind of the backside of the Andes Mountains, kind of these small streams flowing into small rivers, all on social search. Those eventually flow into the big Amazon River. That's like flowing. Those eventually flow into page one of Google if we saturate social search page one enough. So this is the magic of S-cubed methodology. And S-cubed methodology is literally the only thing I've seen, other than brand, which takes 5 to 10 years to actually pay off or give the results we're going to talk about right now. S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and allow the photography business to continue to grow, or has the highest chance to continue to grow in the face of market saturation. And this all occurs relatively quickly, not 5 to 10 years like actually building a brand. So imagine we got 1 million boudoir photographers in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. And when we, everyone's got their website fighting for, page slots on page one Google, then basically we got massive competition going page one, and we decide, okay, we got to do S-cube methodology to the maximum. So we do that. We get the first 300 slots across our social search and Google. And as a result, anytime any buyer in Minneapolis, St. Paul searches for boudoir photography, a high intent keyword, then we're basically the only person that's showing up on any search platform, kind of anywhere they look, or Google, taking the first 300 slots. And it's literally like, it's 10 organic slots per page on Google. It means buyers would literally have to go to like page 31 to actually essentially find any of our competitors. And we already know approximately 80% of searches ain't never going on. They ain't never even hit page 2. So who the heck is hitting page 31? And so whose business is growing in this situation? If we got, the first 300 slots across anywhere any boudoir buyer looks, obviously our business will be the one growing. And everyone's also be disappearing, shrinking, vanishing. So, again, this is S-cube methodology to the max. What's the probability that we actually get those 300? Who knows? But S-cube methodology is the only thing that I've seen that gives a non-zero chance of achieving that. And so that's why I'm saying S-cube methodology is the only thing I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and actually, allow boudoir photographer to increase market share during this time. Now, once we read S-cube methodology, we now have page one visibility, P1V. And, obviously the initial benefit of utilizing S-cube methodology is getting more slots on page one, but we get the second benefit, initial benefit, which is kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Yeah, so every slot we take, we're kicking a competing boudoir photographer off. They're on page two, and we also already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two. So they're being hidden from 80% of the market. They're only getting 20% even viewing. And so they'll be disappearing soon enough. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where we want, it's where I recommended minimum of 3 out of 10. Basically 3 out of 10 page one slots comes from. And Basically, if we got three out of 10 slots on page one, we're definitely going to be showing up more amazingly than everyone else with one slot, and even those with two slots, and way higher. And that two slots is extremely rare, anyways. So we're basically going to be dominating essentially every other boudoir photographer in essentially every other situation. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief of page one equality, because people didn't even know a solution like this could exist to take as many page one slots as we wanted. We now do have the solution though. Thank the universe SQ'd methodology, we achieve page one visibility, become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. Now here's the results I've gotten myself using SQ'd methodology. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir, so I utilized SQ'd methodology. So we come down here to the organic slots. We got organic slot 1, us. Organic slot 2, us. 3, us. 4, us. 5, us. 6, us. 7, us. 8, us. And 10, us. So we went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So these are the results that I got utilizing SQ'd methodology. All right, so main event here. I'm going to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS for the local search and the city search, these two Google searches. All right, so let's look at West Pasco. So it's the local search. So let's see what we got going down to organic. So here we go. We got 1. Boom, we got 2. Let's see. Boom, we got 3. Boom, we got 4. All right, so we got 4 out of 10. Awesome. So we do not have BSS for our local search, and we do meet the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. Good. So we've kicked off a bunch of competitors from our search here. So that's local. Let's search at the city level. Same Tri-Cities, Washington. Check this out. Boom. All right, we got 1. That's a sponsored. Nice. We got 2 right there with the threads. Nice. We got 3. All right. Boom. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. So we do not have. So going back. So we do not have BSS for the local search. We do not have BSS for the city search. That's super awesome. We've hit the GBC minimum for both. So I can basically guarantee this business is not disappearing. So they're either treading water or most likely growing, because they're hitting all the metrics we got to be hitting for the highest intent people. Those are closest to the money, easiest to convert. So perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. That's what every boudoir photographer needs to get to. Well, for those that want to become the number 1 boudoir photographer in their city. All right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local search, your local searches, city searches with the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you got 0-1 slots for any of them, at least one of them, or you're not reaching the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search for at least one of them, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. So we can actually take as many slots on page 1 Google search as we want. Then, well, Anderson SQ methodology is the only solution to give you those slots, and it's actually something you've been waiting for. And you're loving the initial benefits, more slots page 1 Google search, kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, relegating them to page 2 or page 3 or deeper, and never actually having to kind of deal with them as competitors anymore, making them disappear to approximately 80% of Google searches, so approximately 80% of the market. And you understand the market saturation, yeah, more peeps buy new gear eventually become boudoir photographers, yeah, they kind of trickle in over time. But you're looking ahead and you're seeing, okay, AI is taking peeps jobs right now, and AI is definitely going to get better and better, so it's going to take more and more peeps jobs over time. And you understand last time that happened, lots of peeps lost their job. COVID, massive wave of boudoir photographers came into the marketplace. So you're like, uh-oh, massive market saturation is coming, and you're realizing you actually need to fortify your position on page 1, which means have so many links that Google wants to rank on page 1 that there's not enough space to rank them all. So you're actually link stuffing page 2, 3, 4 onward, and basically guarantee no current boudoir photographer can get onto page 1, and basically no future boudoir photographer that comes after AI takes their job can ever get onto page 1. And you're saying, well, how to get that many links? So you're saying, oh, SQ methodology, that's the only solution. I can give you that fortification. And you're also understanding that when we successfully execute SQ methodology every single day, we're actually creating we're actually creating like these invisible thematic keyword columns that are plugging into our brand, like kind of 360 degrees around our brand. And these are building up back-end keyword AI mindshare for the AI systems, AI searchers out there. And so every day we do this, successfully execute SQ methodology, we're actually increasing the probability that we show up here in AI overview. The most premium placement, we cannot purchase this. And so that's a future benefit of SQ methodology. Another future benefit of SQ methodology is we are actually higher probability that we show up in AI search. So ChatGPT search, Claude, Perplexity, Google, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. And this is huge. Increasing its probability every single day is huge because more and more people use an AI search every single day. Last time I did AI search for boudoir photographer in the city, I actually looked and it recommended me 3. So I went to look manually on Google and Facebook, hey, how many boudoir photographers are actually in the city? Dude, there's like 60. So if AI is only recommended 3, we gotta get there. We gotta have so much back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum that AI has to give recommend those positions to us. And you're also like the fact that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city. So you're like, and yeah, you can get all these benefits, but also you can prevent your competitors from getting all these benefits, allowing you to build up a massive like AI mindshare gap, back-end AI keyword mindshare gap for the increased probability of recommended through AI overview and recommended through AI search. And you can actually deny your competitors getting that. So basically you're able to build up a massive gap between you and your competitors and basically make it so big that current competing boudoir photographers can never achieve it or reach it, and future boudoir photographers can never that come in after AI takes their jobs can never catch you. So you decide you're a first mover on this, you can't miss out, and you actually want you're thinking conversely, if some other peeps, if one of your competitors were to get on the sign up with me first, you'd actually lose out on all the benefits. Your competitor would begin all these links page 1. Have so many links page 1, there'd actually be overflowing to the future page 2, 3, 4. You would be relegated to page 2 or deeper, and we would obviously have the goal of making you have no chance to ever get to page 1. And then we'd be building a massive keyword, back-end AI keyword kind of momentum, mindshare to get recommended AI overview, Google search, and with all the AI search apps. And for you to compete, you'd actually have to go rederive S-cubed methodology on your own, and you'd never have any idea if you've derived it. Well, you'd have to drive it for the first time for yourself. You'd never know if you successfully 100% derived it correctly. And then you'd have to equal our execution every single day. And if you did that, you'd simply be maintaining the gap that we've already massively built ahead of you. And then once that happens, you would actually have to 2 to 3x our execution every single day to start closing that gap and pulling that back-end AI mindshare away from me and your competitor's brand back towards you. But since you're not even 100% confident you've derived it correctly in the first place, it's hard to put in that much effort to something you're not confident in. And when you actually think about it, you're like, dude, who's got 80 hours per day to do all this stuff? So you decide, screw that. You're actually going to be the first mover in your city, get all these benefits. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, but when we do open our DMs for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify.